Great news. In its latest report, the CDC has said it is safe for children to go back into our nation's classrooms with proper precautions, stating, quote, there has been little evidence that schools have contributed meaningfully to increased community transmission. But efforts to open schools up have faced resistance from some teachers who, despite the science, are continuing to push for remote learning.
You will know that I have opposed opening schools because I feel it's just too dangerous. I died from catching COVID-19 from being forced back into Pinellas County schools. You can drop my dead body right here.
Okay. With all the data showing the impact this is having on our students, how are teachers' unions winning on this one? Here to discuss, the First TV contributor, Jesse Kelly. Mr. Jesse Kelly, how are you, sir?
Well, I'm good. Buck, I'm honestly not trying to change the subject. I swear I'm not. But that dude you just had on the screen with the I can't teach if I'm dead thing, talking about dropping his dead body, all politics aside, as a dude, what are you saying to yourself when you look in the mirror and you're putting a cardboard box sign over your neck and some little fruity mask on your face with a microphone in your hand? Aren't you embarrassed? Do you think that guy has a moment where he is like, man, this is embarrassing? Look at that guy. Look, that person. He put that stuff on.
No,
Do you
I
think he has a private moment where he's like, oh, man, this looks bad?
No, he feels like he's a hero. He's part of the, the Mask Shamers International here. He watches a lot of CNN, actually probably MSNBC, probably Maddow's show, and has been seeing nothing but, the Trump death count up on the, where everyone who's dying because of Donald Trump. It was pretty amazing that Trump is responsible for COVID-19 cases all over the globe, including all around Europe and in South America, in many cases with a way worse per capita fatality outcome we've had here in the U.S., Jesse. But on schools, this is amazing because there is no real serious argument that children should not be back in school. In fact, there really wasn't a good argument for any children not to be back in school last September. Here in New York, they're talking about how maybe they'll all be back in school next fall. We'll see about that. This is what liberal delusions and hashtag science leads people to.
It does it every time, and it's never based in any fact at all. I mean, wasn't it amazing, Buck, at the beginning that there was no evidence at all that kids were affected in any meaningful way by this, and one of the first things they did was, close the schools. And anybody who brought up, that's really bad for kids, especially lower income kids or kids in abusive homes. It's really terrible. We've seen child abuse go through the roof as more kids are stuck at home with their crappy abusive parents. And there was never any reason for it. And not only is it amazing they did it, now nobody will step forward and have the integrity and say, oh, man, I screwed this up. I was wrong. They should have been in school all along. That's really worked out.
The most
well.
You'll get from Fauci, who I really think is an evil little hack now. I mean, I've gone even beyond. I used to just think that he was largely wrong. Now I think, this is the guy who, you sit down in the Kafka short story who's like, yeah, I know it's unfair and it stinks and it's my fault, but that's the way it is because I have the power. So, sucks for you. That's who Dr. Fauci is. I want to ask you to respond here or react, I should say, to this Virginia father who he was like my spirit animal unleashed here about. I don't even have kids. Never mind. But I see what he's saying about school closures. Let's hear it.
I literally just finished a conference call because I'm having to multitask to be here to address you guys. You're a bunch of cowards hiding behind our children as an excuse for keeping schools closed. You think you're some sort of martyrs because of the decisions you're making when the statistics do not lie that the vast majority of the population is not at risk from this virus. The garbage workers who pick up my freaking trash risk their lives every day more than anyone in this school system. Figure it out or get off the podium. Because you know what? There are people like me and a line of other people out there who will gladly take your seat and figure it out. It's not a high bar. Raise the freaking bar.
I'm going to give staff an opportunity to make sure that the podium and microphone have been.
Please wipe it down ahead of time, please, because we don't want anything to affect us.
Sir, your time is finished. Can you please leave the boardroom?
It's okay. Don't worry.
Thank you.
I'll be back next time.
If more Americans had this guy's backbone, we would already have our lives back, Jesse. I mean, I wanted to slow clap for this guy.
Mm-hmm. If more Americans not only had that guy's backbone, ran for school board. It is time. This is the mistake that we have made on the right, and we have to own that. Our nature is to mind our own business. I mind my own business. I know you. You're a personal friend. You do too. That's just our nature. No. This silent majority, mind my own business thing has got to be gone. You show up at your local school board, even whether it's about COVID or not, and you make a freaking scene. And when you're done making a freaking scene at your local school board, you walk right out the door and you start running against whoever your school board person is. And you run all of them out of office. And then you go run everybody in your city council out of office and your mayor out of office. This silent majority crap has to stop. That guy should lead this entire movement right now. That's how it's done. You've been silent for so long, the commies have taken over all of it. Well, it's time to take it back, and you don't take it back silently. I'm with you. I played him on my radio show the other day. I may play him again tomorrow. I thought it was awesome.
I thought he was fantastic. And what he points out here as well, you know, if you're an essential worker, are you essential or not? Clearly, teachers are not essential workers, is what the teachers' unions are telling us, right? I know everyone always does this thing too. Oh, but I'm a teacher. I have a friend who's a teacher. I want to go back to the classroom. They're not the problem. The problem are the bloated but very powerful teachers' unions in major cities and Democrat strongholds who are going, yeah, we think we can squeeze more money and more concessions out of the taxpayer right now because, you know, we kind of got them over a barrel. And also a lot of our members really like getting paid their full salary to sit on their couch and, you know, press the play button on Zoom. Much easier job, Jesse.
Much easier job. And look, nobody talks about how this affects the kids. It goes from, you know, just regular politics, Democrat versus Republican, to I mean, I hate to sound like a television evangelist right now, to good versus evil. I mean, you want to play your politics with some things, fine. When you're screwing up the mental health of kids, I mean, these are kids. I don't even have a heart and I care about kids. You're screwing up the mental health of kids so you can squeeze an extra vacation day, maybe a 1% raise or something like that. You're legitimately just a bad person. And I say that as a bad person. You're actually worse than me, and that's saying something.
When do you think we are actually going to get our lives back, Jesse? I mean, you and I have been holding this line, if you will, for a long time now. And I will say, as much as I've expected this to unfold the way that it has, I did think that we'd be closer to the American people saying enough. Right now, it feels like Joe Biden presidency, 100 days of masking. I think they've got at least 6 to 9 more months in them of just mask up, shut up, do what you're told, peasant.
Why would they give us our lives back? And what motivation do they have? This whole thing is, let's see, it's given them the Senate, it's given them the presidency, it's made all their gigantic big tech, big business donors, it's made all of them even more rich than they were before, on top of the fact that it's crushed all their small business competition, which is really what the big businesses want anyway. The unions, as you already pointed out, are making money, only now they're making money to sit home in their PJs and drink Merlot while little Timmy cries on the computer set. The mayors, who are lifelong dorks who've never talked to a girl in their lives, now have more power than ever before, and they can point to a business and tell it to close. Tell me, all the people who've abused us through COVID, what's one motivation they have to make it stop? And the American people, and look, I hate to point fingers at the American people were so upset about Democrats just using coronavirus as destroying lives, they promptly went to the polls in November and voted for Joe Biden. So they're not going to make it stop because there's no motivation to make it stop. You say 9 months, I say you're being ambitious.
I think you may be right, but always good to see you, Jesse. We'll keep on this one. You take care down there in Texas.